they tell him, "O king, live forever. Tell your servants the dream, and we will interpret it." The king answers them, verses 5. Verses 5, the king replied to the astrologers, "This is what our family decided. Hindo ile ni mamua. If you do not tell me what my dream was and interpret it, I will have you cut into pieces and your house turned into piles of rubble." Bwana asifiwe. The Bible can be dramatic at times. Verses 6. "But if you tell me the dream and explain it, you will receive from me gifts and rewards and great honor. So tell me a dream and interpret it for me." Bwana asifiwe. Sema kuumana. Kuumana. Verses 7. Let's go. Verses 7. So, verses 7. Once more, they answered him, "Let the king tell his servants the dream, and we will interpret it." If you are in that situation, that's how you will respond. Hallelujah. And the king, let's go on, verses 8. The king answered, "I am certain that you are trying to gain time." Mnajaribu kula time, sababu mnajua kile ni mamua. Sindio? So you are trying to gain time because we realize this is what our family decided. Verses 9. In verses 9, "If you do not tell me the dream, there is just one penalty for you. You have conspired to tell me misleading and wicked things, hoping the situation will change. So then tell me the dream, and I will know that you can interpret it for me." Bwana asifiwe. Vitu vimeendelea tukua ngumu kabisa kabisa. When you go on verses 10, the astrologers says wameingia maji, they don't know what to do. "There is not a man on earth who can do what the king asks. No king, however great and mighty, has ever asked such a thing of any magician or enchanter or astrologer." Verses 11. "What the king asks is too difficult. No one can reveal it to the king except the gods, and they do not leave among men." Hallelujah. Verses 12. "This made the king so angry and furious that he ordered the execution of all wise men of Babylon." Bwana asifiwe. Let us continue. "So the decree was issued to put the wise men to death. And men were sent to look for Daniel and his friends to put them to death." Tuachie hapo. Bwana asifiwe. So Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were young men. Sindio? We read that in chapter 1. Walikuwa tu wanapiga story zao. Sijui walikuwa wanapiga wapi. But they were young men. Gen Zs pale wanapatananga kupiga story zao. We can call them Gen Zs. Wamepiga story zao kule. The king at his palace is talking to his wise men. The wise men of the king wanashinda kumwambia ndoto yake and interpret it. And the king gets furious, anamua, haijalishi kama mtu alikuwa hapa ama kuwa hapa, wote wauawe. Bwana asifiwe. So one reason why tempest will rise, au dhoruba itainuka kwako, is because of the grace that you carry. Bwana asifiwe. Write that down. The grace that you carry. Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were gifted with wisdom, but their wisdom was not of this world. They had knowledge, but not of this world. Understanding, but not of this world. But the grace of God that was upon them had made them to be wise. Bwana asifiwe. That even though they were in a foreign land, in a place where they have been taken as slaves, they were considered wise. Bwana asifiwe. So one thing that will cause calamity or dhoruba or the tempest to arise in your life is the grace that you carry. So these guys wamebangaiza tu, if you put it in kwa usemi ya vijana sahizi, wamebangaiza bezi yao, wanakula story yao, then wanaona Subaru ya mabaru na kam, hawajui form, mara hiyo tu kwa boot, hawajui form kwani shida iko wapi. That is what happened, because the one who went after them, if you read in New King James Version, verses 13. The one who went after them was not just a mere soldier, but alikuwa generali wakati. Bwana asifiwe. So he comes to them, and the decree was sent to go and begin killing all the worst men, and they sought Daniel and his companions to kill them. Verses 14. Verses 14, let's go on. There was, then with counsel and wisdom, Daniel answered Arioch, the captain of the king's guard. So they didn't just send anyone, Waltuma the captain, to go and kill Daniel and his friends. Oh, mambo, if you're in that situation, how would you react? Oh, kuwa hapo kina kiota. Haukuwa hapo wakati wale ameaminia wameshinda kumtafsiria ndoto au kumwambia ndoto. But now calamity strikes. Just because you carry that grace, calamity may strike. And you're about to be killed. Bwana asifiwe. So this is now a conversation between Daniel with counsel and wisdom. That is the key thing, with counsel and wisdom. The grace that is working in him, he uses it to talk to the captain of the king's guard who had gone to kill the wise men of Babylon. Verses 15. And he tells them, verses 15. Verses 15. Then the wise men as a group to the king, verses 15. Chapter 2, verses 15, sorry. So he answered and said to Arioch, that is Daniel, the king's captain, why is this decree from the king so urgent? And then Arioch made the decision known to Daniel. So even at that point, washai kwa butia Subaru, they don't know why. So Daniel amejitokezea Buddha. Tuongee kama watu wakubwa, si ndio? In the cartoons we watch, Daniel anakuwa portrayed kama mzee, but here we've seen that he was young. But he calls him, amsema tuongee kama watu wakubwa. Mbona kitu ni urgent sana, kwani what has happened? Then Arioch makes him know what transpired. Bwana asifiwe. So why is this decree from the king's so urgent? Verses 16. Daniel now goes back and asks, so Daniel went in and asked the king to give him time that he might tell the king the interpretation. Hallelujah. Then Daniel goes back at home, verses 17, talks to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and ambia, wajamaa kimeumana. Nilikujiwa, karibu nikwe, sitaki kuseme word, but you know what I'm saying. Lakini nimeokoka kwa mkono ya watu. Bwana asifiwe. So he tells them what transpired. Then he asked them to pray, to seek mercies from God of heaven concerning that thing. Bwana asifiwe. So in a synopsis, that is what transpired. Because of the grace of God upon Daniel, he was gifted in wisdom. Bwana asifiwe. You are there in that company, you are there in that business. There is a grace of God that is upon you. Na wakati mambo yanaanza kwenda vibaya, unashanga kwani nimekosea Mungu? No. Imekufumania because of that grace. And what to do after that really determines if you're going to achieve out victoriously. Bwana asifiwe. I just have one question. Umeshikwa kwa Subaru ya mabaru, Judy. Ukaongea na captain, akasema, okay, sawa, acha nikupatie time, mwende muone kama mtainterpret this dream. Anakuachilia, unaenda nyumbani kwa mabeshte zako. Utabaki, kama ni Nairobi, utabaki Nairobi. Utabaki Umoja. Will you remain there? But these guys remained. They prayed to God and really asked God, God, have mercy on us. Bwana asifiwe. They didn't decide in our own words, kwani watafanya nini? Hawatanichapa, so let us run. They didn't run, they didn't go. But they asked God, because they knew that the grace that we have is not from men, is not from our own experience, but the one who gave us that grace, the one who alitupatia neema hiyo, we can call unto him and he can answer us and give us a way out of this. Bwana asifiwe. So when they prayed, verses 19, God answers them. So let's go on, not 19, verses 19, yes. The secret was revealed to Daniel in a night vision. So Daniel blessed the God of heaven, and we see him there praising God and saying, blessed is the name of God forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. Then we now jump to where he goes, verses 24. Is where he goes now to Arioch, the captain, and tells them, do not destroy or kill all the wise men of Babylon. Take me before the king, and I will tell the king the interpretation. Bwana asifiwe. So Arioch takes him to the king and goes and tells the king, I have found a man of the captives of Judah who will make known to the king the interpretation. The king answered and said to Daniel, whose name was Belshazzar, are you able to make known to me the dream which I have seen and its interpretation? Bwana asifiwe. So this is the grace of God here working. The grace of God works in this way, that your audience becomes kings. Bwana asifiwe. That now the people that come to consult you are kings. The grace of God that was upon Daniel gave him the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding that he has opened an opportunity and a way for him now to be talking to the king, though he is a slave.